So why are some liberals who claim to believe in all this stuff also backing a project which is the complete antithesis of it?
Look, the reason why I'm a left-winger is because I'm not prepared to subcontract the concept of liberty to the so-called liberals who don't give a damn about liberalism. Look, take the authors of the American Constitution and its prelude, the Bill of Rights, which is a beautiful poem dedicated to freedom. Jefferson. Well, all these people had slaves. They were slave owners. And you know, Jefferson, even when he died, he did not he did not put in his will a clause that would liberate his slaves. So the greatest poems in honor of liberty have been written by people who were slave owners. I think that tells you all you need to know about the hypocrisy of liberals. China is the only country that has developed this new form of capital, which I call cloud capital, which is the part of capital which, when it accumulates, bestows upon its owner the most power. It's the capital that lives inside your phone, the algorithmic AI-driven capital, which is not new. It's been happening now 10, 15 years. If you think about it, there is no British or European competitor to Google, to Facebook, to Amazon.com, to Uber, to Airbnb, to any of these platforms. None. No British, no German, no French, no Indian competitor to them. China has a bigger and better version of each one of them in China. And not only that, but there is an application called WeChat that belongs to Tencent, which, imagine an application, we don't have it here in Europe, or in Britain if you don't want to be considered European. I don't know why you wouldn't, but maybe you don't. You don't have an app that allows you to watch movies like Netflix, to call a cab like Uber, to send tweets, to do that, and on top of that, to send money, to pay, to make payments for free to anyone in the world. For free, no fee, no banking fee attached. That app doesn't exist in the West. The Chinese have it. So, to the extent that the United States remains hegemonic because they have the monopoly of all payment systems. When you pay anybody, even within Britain, that payment finds its way through to the other person, to the person to whom you are making the payment, through a system totally controlled by the United States. Not by the Bank of England, not by England or the European Union, totally by the United States. This is why...
Explain that, because people don't understand. If you're using Visa or PayPal, people get that.
Well, Visa and PayPal are all American.
But a bank transfer, how's that?
Well, it is possible for a payment to be made within Britain without going through one of the filters that go through Washington. But Washington has the means to press a button and stop you from making a payment from Lloyds Bank to NatWest within London. After the Second World War, Europe and Britain had no payment system. We were, in ashes after the Second World War. The continent of Europe was in genuine ashes, and Britain was bankrupt. So when Bretton Woods rebuilt the financial system through the system of central banks, the Bank of International Settlements and all that, SWIFT, have you seen the acronym SWIFT? All this system is an electronic payment system, a messaging system, which messages one bank, £10.35 is going from here to there. That system is totally controlled by the United States, because it was the United States that created it after Bretton Woods in 1944, and that remains to this day. If I were in the Pentagon, I would not be worried about the developments on the military terrain. What I would be worried about are the developments on the fintech, the financial technology terrain, because the Chinese, with WeChat, and in particular, something I haven't mentioned yet, the digital currency of the Central Bank of China, they are creating circumstances that can easily undermine the monopoly that the dollar has on international transactions. Because all the power of the Americans, of the United States, this whole panoply of force is based on the US dollar. The American economy is becoming a smaller and smaller percentage of the world economy. The American economy is highly in the red. They have a huge trade surplus, huge trade deficit since 1968. They have a huge budget deficit, 6.5% every year, budget deficit. So they need other people's money. They are the only empire in the history of humanity who are growing stronger the more they are in the red. What allows them to do that is that they print the world's currency, the dollar. So if you are a capitalist, a German capitalist, a Chinese capitalist to this day, right? You need to sell to the Americans in order to make your own profits. So you sell to the Americans buy in dollars, they have a deficit, and you get dollars. So you're a Chinese capitalist in Shanghai or in Frankfurt, and you have all these dollars. And what do you do with these dollars? You cannot spend them in Germany or in China, so you take them to Wall Street, and you invest them in real estate, in shares, primarily in American debt. So you're financing the American government to build the armies and to have the aircraft carriers in the East. So that is the nexus around which American power revolves, the dollar. The Chinese threaten that because now, if you are a capitalist, if you are a moneybags, if you are Saudi Arabian, with lots and lots of billions, you know, somebody from Abu Dhabi, an Indonesian magnate, a Malaysian magnate, you are really thinking twice about putting all your eggs in the dollar basket. Why? Because you've seen that the Americans just confiscated $400 billion of Russian money. I'm not going to pass judgment on that. This is not a discussion of whether they should have done it or not. It's a fact, they did it. So if you are a sheikh from Dubai, or a stinking rich, usually bastard, from Indonesia, right? Because to be stinking rich in Indonesia, you can't be a good person, right? Or in Greece, for that matter. And you have all these billions. You think, well, they got pissed off with Putin's men and they took their money. What about me? I'm not the best guy in the world. Maybe they will get pissed off with me tomorrow. So you're not going to put all your money in the Chinese digital currency, but you will put some of it in there, just to, to plan B, in case the Americans come. And that is a clear and present danger for American hegemony. That is why, and here's my explanation, you have a new Cold War. The Americans are attacking the technological evolution of Chinese fintech, the combination of big tech and the financial sector, because they want to kill this payment system from, before it grows up and challenges the American dollar digital system. Electric cars have much lower value added. And what value is to be extracted comes from what I said before, cloud capital. Let me put it this way. A Tesla may cost quite a bit of money to buy. But Elon Musk is going to be collecting monies from anyone who has bought Tesla forever, not just at the point of sale. When you buy a Volkswagen, Volkswagen gets a certain wad of money from you, and that's it. After that, maybe whatever spare parts you purchase from them to service the car. But Tesla, because, Tesla, did you know that Elon Musk can switch off your Tesla? You drive out of the car dealer, you have your beautiful, all gleaming, all singing, all dancing Tesla. Elon Musk can decide, Kate Smith, Your car is off, presses a button, and through a satellite, it completely, it's like Apple can switch off your iPhone if it wants. It won't do it, but already in the United States, I don't know whether you know that, if you buy a second-hand Tesla and you do not register it with a Tesla dealer, they switch it off. You can't drive it. Which also works the other way around, because Tesla gathers information as to what music you're listening to when you're going to your child's school, where did you go yesterday, what mood were you in, because it has a capacity to hear your conversations in the car or the conversations you're having with people using your phone. So it has all this data from you. Tesla sells this data on a daily basis. This is what I mean by the power of cloud capital. Volkswagen doesn't have that. It doesn't own the cloud. It doesn't have anything like that. That's why Europe is behind. China has it. Have you heard of a company called BYD, Build Your Dream? It's almost as big as Tesla now.
I think it was, did it get bigger for one day and then it went back, or anyway?
Yeah, it's huge.
It's big.
And it will be much bigger. Okay, they have all that. So it is America and it is China. And we here have missed the boat.
Are we moving, I suppose, I'll rephrase the question, from a unipolar to a multipolar world, and what does that mean? Because you sound skeptical of the idea of us moving to multipolarity.
Oh, there's certainly no multipolarity. What there is a new Cold War between the United States and China. That's all there is. Russia is insignificant. I mean, it's significant if you're a Ukrainian and you get bombed by them. There's no doubt about that. But then again, if you're in South Sudan and you are caught up in the civil war in South Sudan, your life is not better than it is if you are in Kharkiv or, parts of Donbass. But if you want to look at the concentration of economic, financial, technological, and military power, you have to focus on the United States and on China. The European Union is the stupid continent.
Nice.
But the main concern is the new Cold War that Donald Trump started against China. And we had this discussion back in when was it, in October, because it's part of the chapter 6 of my book. I was puzzled by why would Trump start a Cold War against China. You remember, it started when he banned a telecommunications company, Chinese one, Huawei, from functioning in the United States. And then he banned another one, ZTE. And then another one, and then he introduced serious tariffs on aluminium exports and so on. And of course, maybe one could say, that's Trump, what do you expect? He's a madman. But then Joe Biden gets elected. And instead of reversing this Cold War against China, he turbocharged it. He went, as the Australians say, apeshit. Full on. He introduced a bill by which he banned all sales of advanced microchips to China. This is like saying to Beijing, we will do whatever we can to prevent you from becoming an technologically advanced country. That's an economic war. A declaration of economic war. So I was puzzled by that, and I was asking myself, why would they do that?